We do have a Childcare Advisory Committee.
Yes.
So what's kind of the scope of that program?
Yeah, so when in 2013 we created a Childcare Advisory Committee, it functions very much like BOSAC or our Parking Advisory Committee. Is this committee, they really are community experts or people who are passionate about childcare and early childhood education. They get together monthly. We work on policy recommendations for the council around the program. We work on different sort of program aspects and
Right.
how we can improve and be more effective in the public dollars that we're using, making sure we're tracking stuff. And then they also serve as a liaison to the community,
Right.
so that when people have questions about it, you might have a friend who's on the committee. Right now, actually, we have four of our current committee members. Their terms are expiring, so we're actually seeking applicants for new 3-year terms. So we're really excited. We're looking for letters to come in by January 9th, and people who might be interested can look on the website. You'll see the Childcare Advisory Committee, and you can go there and there's information about how to apply. You basically just send me a letter of interest, and
Right.
we'll be holding interviews later on this month, and then make a recommendation to the council for those 4 appointments. But it's a great committee to serve on. I always tell people, really, it's a lot of reading and a lot of fun policy stuff, but you really become in the know about the program. One of the things that is a primary goal of our program is to make sure that the centers that we're working with, they're all nonprofits, that they're delivering high quality care, because we know that the best impacts to children and the real return on investment in terms of the public investment happens when it's high quality care.
Right.
And so this committee is really overseeing what that looks like, helping kind of to formulate broad policies to make sure that we are supporting the local centers here in that goal of delivering that kind
And
of
the
care.
centers are Timberline.
Yep, Timberline Learning Center out on Valley Brook, Carriage House, which is also on Valley Brook, Little Red Schoolhouse, which is over off of Riling and Wellington, and then Breckenridge Montessori, which people can see right on Main Street.
Yes, that's true.
So we work with those 4 nonprofits, and the reason we do that is because it's a very straightforward relationship with us. We have a lot of accountability measures in place, so the funds that they receive, they submit to us their budgets on an annual basis, their tuition. When they raise tuition, they give us that information. We get teacher salaries, just a ton of data that really helps us track our ability to impact their programs.
Yeah, and especially many of our care centers are pretty close to workforce housing as well.
Yeah, well, Little Red Schoolhouse is right on the edge of Wellington neighborhood, and I live right over in that direction, so you see a little parade of children and strollers and striders coming to school every morning.
They're so cute.
They're
We
so
recently
cute.
had a little pizza party over there, and they have a giant bunny,
Yes, they do.
which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we are so fortunate. We have, really 4 high quality centers. They all have amazing student to teacher ratios. We have highly trained teachers in those classrooms. And the other portion of our program that we have is called Invest in Teachers, and that actually provides additional funds that goes directly to teachers' salaries. One of the challenges around childcare is really charging what it costs to take care of kids.
Right.
And the reality is when you really charge what it costs, middle income families really can barely afford that cost. So
Right.
this program does become key in making sure that the schools can be financially viable, that they can charge the tuition that they need to support the salaries and the benefits that they're giving to teachers. From our standpoint too, we also work with them. One of our goals is really to make sure that they're as efficient as possible and that they're using the government funds and their own tuition funds as best as possible. So a big initiative we're working on this year is creating a shared human services role across our 4 different centers. So we partnered with Early Childhood Options and Summit County Government on a workforce moonshot grant that's through Rose Community and Temple Buell and Gary Community Fund. Really exciting statewide grant. We're getting there's a lot of attention to right now. And as a pilot, we're hiring a human resources person to do shared responsibilities across all those schools. The idea is that the directors, which currently have to fulfill those roles, is that over time they're going to be able to really practice at the top of their license, doing the stuff they're really trained in. While they have training around small business administration, it's really not the thing that got them into the business in the first place.
Yeah, taking some of that off their plate.
Yeah, and so that they can be in the classroom coaching teachers, working with kids, working with families.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, we're really looking to just turn the whole model of childcare on its ear.